The Eye of the Moon plan was a great idea, and I'm not just talking about in context to the Narutoverse, but also how cool would it be if we as a society were trapped under this genjutsu. Now you may deem me a sociopath for claiming the Eye of the Moon plan to be a great idea, but hear me out. First off, in the context of the Naruto story, the Eye of the Moon plan, or Project Tsukuyomi, was enacted by Madara so that it can bring about peace in the ninja world by placing everyone in an Infinite Tsukuyomi. Up until the plan was fully enacted in the war arc, we've seen nothing but destruction and hatred spread throughout the shinobi world with no end in sight. So as drastic as the plan was, one could show sympathy towards Madara by understanding where he was coming from. It almost worked too, until plot reared its ugly head in the form of Zetsu setting his back writing-wise to the Boruto era. In fact, the Eye of the Moon plan was already fire, given that it would have prevented the Boruto series from happening. Granted, I do like the Boruto story in the manga, but it doesn't help that right after Project Tsukuyomi failed and the war arc ended, we had filler storylines in the Boruto anime longer than One Piece. So yes, Project Tsukuyomi made sense in the fictional world of Naruto, but why would I bring up our real world into the equation? Well, it's because of one thing. We freaking needed it! Keep in mind that the Naruto story can be a perfect parallel in how the real world struggles are a constant issue, dealing with war, segregation, things of that nature. If we have the Eye of the Moon plan, we can escape our realities and be transported into a world that is tailored to our wants and desires. You can finally have that dream job you wanted. You can finally drive around in your dream car without a care in the world. You can finally get that Latina girlfriend that you've been fiending for ever since you were engulfed at the concept of Latino women, fulfilling all your natural desires by being submissive to their vengeful yet protective nature that will ultimately lead you to having kids built for that life of sternness and solitude that can only come from marrying a Latina. No! Okay, I'm joking about actually endorsing the Eye of the Moon plan, if you couldn't tell already. If you thought that anything that I just said was to be taken seriously, you don't need the genjutsu to become delusional. We as humans are flawed, sure, and it would be easier to just take the path that leads to instant gratification, but it would come at a cost. Not only would it be insufficient in creating true peace, but also none of it will be real. Those perceptions in the Naruto story were basically dream sequences at the end of the day, short of reality. But that's not to say you can't achieve those dreams with hard work. Just like how Naruto was able to become Hokage and create peace for the Boruto era, you too have the opportunity to make something out of yourself without having to take the shortcut. As for the terrible things in the real world like war, racism, so on and so forth, I'm not saying it'll all be taken care of easily, maybe not even at all in this lifetime, but I believe that if we as a society put our minds to it, we can truly be at peace with one another. So there's no need for the Narutoverse to warp their perceptions by doing the Eye of the Moon plan, nor do we in the real world need to warp our perceptions by doing marijuana. So what do you guys think of the Eye of the Moon plan? Is this something that you would have wanted to see more explored in the Naruto story? And do you think it would be an actual benefit in our real world as well? It's a bit of a loaded question, but I'm curious to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comment section below. I'm the Curly Haired Hokage, and I hope you all have an amazing and blessed day. Peace.